welcome back to another video of My Creative Life with Kel Sweetie, where we read books, we make art, and we get into the holiday spirit. Today, we are doing my planning Christmas video. I usually save my planning videos for my Patreon. That's where I planned my Halloween themes and how I planned some of my crafts for the year. For the holidays, so some of the crafts that are coming up that aren't theme related but simply wanting to do arts and crafts are all over there if you're into a behind the scenes look. But I also wanted to do a video over here because I know that a lot of y'all, I started doing behind the scenes and planning videos over on my Patreon, so some people don't even know what that even looks like and what to even expect. And also I wanted, as I'm decorating, I wanted to kind of have more insight into what I'm even trying to pull off, because this year will be my first year pulling off an actual theme for my Christmas decorations, as opposed to other years where I've just kind of put up whatever I liked, but wasn't really going for a theme like I do for Halloween. However, I have gone through basically all of my Christmas decor and did a Christmas decor audit like I did for Halloween, which are both over there right now if you go and take a look. So if you want to look at any of that, you can over on my Patreon, just to have a better idea of what to expect over there. But today I wanted to do kind of a screen recording planning video so y'all can get an idea of what to expect from me throughout the holidays. So as I said in my last video, I really do love the holidays. And that includes all of the holidays. Well, mainly it's just Christmas and Halloween. But I really love the Christmas spirit. Growing up in the Midwest, I luckily got to experience both seasons very heavily. And so I do love Christmas and be with a partner who loves Christmas as much as I love Halloween. It means that I get 2 times a year to be basically insane and put whatever holiday stuff I want around the house and people be happy about it. As you can see, I've kind of changed up some of the things around my craft corner. So I changed out the lights and I have like a little bit of decor here. So we're getting festive. It's starting to look a little festive. And I wanted to do just a quick screen recording today to talk through kind of what I'm looking to do. If you aren't following Cozy K Haven over on YouTube, you should go check her out. She did a plan with me video and I loved watching hers, and it kind of gave me the idea that I probably should release some more stuff like that on my own YouTube video channel instead of just on my Patreon. And I really love her aesthetic for this year. She's like, okay, if you're looking for neutrals and boho and evergreen and something real classy, like she's my twin to that like extreme of the maximalism and vintage and kitschy and real themed up type of decor. So make sure you go check her out if you have not. Let's get into it. I don't really want to yap too long. I mean, as y'all know, I could easily make an hour-long video, and I'm hoping that this one isn't necessarily that, especially because I'm still fleshing out so much of these themes. So first and foremost, my overall theme aesthetic, I've been through a little bit of an identity crisis when it comes to my Christmas aesthetic. And mainly that's because I don't think that I've known what to label it. I love the fruits and the extraness and extravagance of Victorian Christmas, but I also love the jolly, like, Santa store aesthetic of a 1950s Christmas. That's not like kitschy mod. I don't like light blues and pinks in my type of Christmas. I like good old-fashioned red and green, just like I am about Halloween. I love orange and black for my Halloween aesthetic. I love red and green. Now, those reds and greens may vary. I'm not one for a pastel green. I'm very particular. Looking through my Pinterest board, you can get an idea of what visually I really like for Christmas. I feel like it's hard for me to explain. Like, for instance, I think of this and I'm like, okay, that's 1950s department store Santa Christmas, and it's like red and green. No pinks, no light greens, no blues, no, none of that. Good old just red and green like this as well. It even took a lot out of me to do colored lights this year, and I'll get to that in a moment on why I'm doing colored lights in just a second. So yeah, if you look here, this is kind of what I'm going for when I say Victorian, rustic, primitive, the farmhouse. These are all the tag words for my Christmas decor vibe. Something that feels warm and at the same time, let me go out and let's go shopping, but like not necessarily just to buy stuff, but to also like hang out and all this, you know, I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly. That's what these 50s classic Christmas decor ideas kind of give me. Already done some eBay shopping in the last minute haul. I think tonight will be the very last thing that I even buy. I'm pretty much, one, we're maxed out on the budget. I just started a new job, but it's still like bills need to be paid. So, and Christmas is coming up. People need gifts and stuff like that. So, all that being considered, I think whatever the last bits that I'm getting today, I think are pretty much it, because I want to start decorating this weekend. Then I'm looking to do my kitchen. Let's start off with the kitchen because I feel like that's the strongest theme that I really have a good idea of. I want to do a bakery type of kitchen aesthetic. So like this classic type of gingerbread, this is extravagant. See, look, that has a bunch of blues and stuff. I have some gingerbread houses and they're pretty minimal on the like tons of color. Love this. I want to see if I can craft something similar to like these very classic, just white royal icing type of gingerbread houses. That's on my craft list to make. Also on my craft list, I want to make some very vintage looking cakes and snacks, like something similar to what you're getting in this picture, something similar to this aesthetic here. We're gonna save that. Just classic Christmas treats is what I'm going for. Nothing too crazy. I have this like cake as inspiration. I'm going to be trying to make a fake bake pound cake type of thing. We'll see if I get that off, but I'm like going for, see, like something like these colors. Like we're not getting crazy with the color palette of what's going to be on these treats and stuff, but something that is, when I look at these types of treats, I think very Victorian, not farmhouse or primitive necessarily, but something that's, yeah, like it feels like this Christmas, extravagant Christmas dinner with like very green. I'm not gonna have actual food, it's all gonna be desserts, but like that type of setting is what I'm really looking to do in a good portion of the house. But just as we're specifically talking about the kitchen, that's what I'm looking to do. This type of, I think I have like a version of this picture in my Pinterest board, but like you see how there's just so much greenery and everything, and there's this patinaed brass and like these candles. Age, I'm looking for something very aged. I love this. See, like this is beautiful. If I could find, I think I'm looking for a mixture of 3 different Christmas aesthetics. That's primitive, farmhouse, and Victorian. So I like want like mainly Victorian, something that's like very much this aesthetic of lush, dark green, dark red, velvet, like these types of gold, like brassy gold and wood, those types of aesthetics. But mix, that's probably like, I don't know, maybe make up like about 50%. That's about 50% of the aesthetic. And then half of that Nah, I want to take that down. Maybe not 50. We're gonna take it maybe 40. This is math. These numbers don't matter, but you're getting an idea visually of the aesthetic. And then the rest, basically half that between cozy, rustic, and kitschy. Department store Santa kitschy. And that's where I want my home to live. In this very cozy Bermuda Triangle between these three aesthetics of a 50s Department Santa Christmas, cozy, primitive, farmhouse type of aesthetic, and Victorian, lush Victorian. So in that Bermuda Triangle, that's where I would like for my Christmas aesthetic to live. And because of that, I feel like I'm constantly, like, I feel like I'm all over the place. Like, I love this. I love this look of the dried out oranges and the ribbon and the books and the candle and these pine cones and fruit. Very nature, very Mabon, like witchy, Christmas witchy type of thing. But this is too far. Like, I need a little bit of consumer Santa with this aesthetic, and I also need it to be a little less like New England and bring it back down maybe a little closer to the Midwest, where it's a little home on the range with more fabrics. So like there's a amazing Santa doll, fabric doll that I thrifted last year. There's an amazing angel fabric quilted doll that I thrifted last year. But this year I thrifted and found on eBay a lot of different things that fit more of that department store Santa 50s look, as well as this antique Christmas look. I feel like I just rambled and threw a lot of different decor options at you, but I feel like the more I kind of explain it and show you some visuals, the better idea you have for where I'm going overall. Now, again, going back to what was said about, can I get back to my, is this back? Nope. I'm gonna have to go back so far. But as I'm moving backwards, as I was saying about my kitchen this year, I want a Christmas bakery type of aesthetic this year in my kitchen. To get that look, I need a lot of brass, patinaed type of cookware. I want to make a lot of fake bakes. Like I showed you before, these are all in the realm of what I'm looking to do. In these areas, this as well, something along this lines as well. I want to make some fake peppermint candies, not only just because I want them in my fake bakery, but I also want to see if I can make a good amount of them, see how easy it is to make a good amount of them to put on my tree. I don't like putting real candy cane on my tree simply because it's not super cold here in Atlanta. Am I in Atlanta now? No, it's not super cold here in LA. And also I don't like leaving candy out when it gets a little hotter and everything. So I just don't, I'm not a big fan of it. So I'm looking to make some fake ones. I did get some fake garlands of popcorn. We'll get to all of that when I get to the tree. But yeah, so I want to thrift. These are some good like examples of the fake bakes. I want to do some of these fake cookies that are very simple like this. Like, that's what I'm going for, and I'm going to be a whole video about crafting some things like that out of foam clay. During Halloween, I made some fake like slice and bake Halloween cookies for my 90s Halloween party display, and I did it out of air dry clay. If I could go back and do it again, I would do it out of foam clay. One, because that's how the fake bake people kind of make theirs, is out of foam clay. It's lighter and it puffs up more like it's an actual cookie. So that's what I'll be trying out. I'll be using some Great Stuff foam. We all know how much I love that stuff, to make the fake cakes. That'll be something I'm trying out. I found some small bundt cake, like silicone molds that were on sale. So I'm going to try those out as well to make some small cakes. And I'm also going to use the foam clay actually, I think I'm going to use the air dry clay in the silicone molds that I got that were for some fudge type of silicone molds that were on sale as well. So that's everything that I'm going to be doing for that. I'm going to be reusing a lot of the apothecary jars that weren't labeled from my witch kitchen decorate with me that I did for Halloween. I'm reusing some of that. I'm reusing some of the containers and the brass items and foliage. Not all of it, just stuff that's mainly green, and not the moss stuff, of course. So that's the big plan for the kitchen, and I'm really excited for that one. That's what I've kind of gotten a lot of stuff for. I've gotten going to some of this. I wonder if I can maybe look for it in here, but I'm also looking for like this sign up here. This is the aesthetic for some things that I've gotten recently to sprinkle throughout that's actually Christmassy, and I'm seeing if I have anything on here. See, this has bingo cards. Let me see if I can have 50s department Christmas aesthetic. Let's see if what's that gonna bring. It's a little kitschy, a little too. I like where we're going. Like, I love this. I would love to maybe even print out this and make it like a postcards sort of situation, or something along those lines. Maybe edit that. This is in the right area, but I'm looking for like department store. Like for sale signs at Woolsworth. See, like here, this is Woolsworth, but I don't think it's gonna have like the signs and stuff. But like, you see how there's like all these hand done signs, the way that these displays are, even these boxes, like having some consumer based aesthetic throughout as well. I got lucky and found for really cheap some for sale, like pricing tags and Christmas, a lot of some Christmas pricing tags that are vintage, as well as even a vintage bakery order book that I'm going to be very careful with while I use it, but has that aesthetic to kind of mix, you know, the fact that it's a bakery and not just simply a kitchen into the aesthetic. And that's what I have planned for my kitchen. I know that was a lot to kind of walk you through. I think that it's just so much that I'm trying to, here, I'm gonna save this so I can have these little petitfours. I can try and do those and everything. So yeah, I feel like I'm trying to like nail down this idea that I have in my mind in words. It's just difficult because I was looking online, I was looking on YouTube, and I could not find really much of anything that was getting close to what I want to do for, I love this, to do for this aesthetic. And that's crazy because I feel like I can't be the first person to ever want to have their kitchen look like a Christmas bakery unless I am, which, okay, you know, points for being original. So I'm like looking for stuff along those lines, like stuff that's very adsy and glows, like 50s ads, like even like this one. If like this is, there's something about this from 50s consumer and ad culture that is just, it really just glows. Like it feels like the epitome and the best part of consumer Christmas. Where it was still Christmassy, like as you bought it, not just simply we bought it. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm alone on that, or maybe I just made that up, but that's kind of where I was going with the idea of the kitchen Christmas decor. And now I'm just like in old-fashioned 50s ads, which Like, look at this. This is so great. I love that. I'm saving it. I don't know why I'm saving it. It's not decor, but I'm saying it's giving me the vibe of what I'm looking for in my kitchen. Let's just move on to my TV area, because I feel like I'm looking for like this department store type of thing. And I thought that the Woolworth would probably get me there. It didn't, but close enough. I know where I'm going. Like here, this has it. This little sign here. This is what I'm talking about. Where I found some tags that were like that, and something simple. This is, I have found out, is called Farmhouse. Primitive Farmhouse Christmas. I want it to kind of feel a bit like this, like maybe we're looking at 30% in this area. But something more lush, like something a little bit higher class than this, but still very vintage. I just feel like there's such a combination of things I'm trying to put together, but of course it's all very vintage. Let's move on. Let's move on to my TV area, which this year I am going for a Home Alone aesthetic. Wait, hold on. So this year for my living room TV area, I want to do a Home Alone theme. This is going to be the big challenge for me because I want it to read Home Alone. And I also want it to read 90s. And I think that will be a challenge for me because I love vintage aesthetic, but there's something specific about a 90s Christmas. And again, I don't just want it to be 90s Christmas, I also want it to be Home Alone. So I have a lot of crafts coming up that are going to have some of the Home Alone tricks. So the doorknob from the McAllister's house that ends up burning in the hand of one of the wet bandits, and a wanted poster for the wet bandits. I'm going to be making the Michael Jordan cutout from scratch that he uses when he's like playing like there's actually a party going on at the house. I have like these knickknacks and stuff, like the classic looking bulbs that they end up stepping on. I've gotten shatterproof ones of those. That's what I'm going for in that area. And again, I feel like the 90s Christmas aesthetic is something, I don't know how to spell anymore. It's something that's going to be hard for me to kind of pull off. But see, as we can see, this is from the Home Alone like movie itself. This is what I'm talking about. There's parts of it that's Victorian, and then there's parts of it that's Norman Rockwell 50s. And that's what I'm kind of wants to go for around my television. Now, the thing is how do you pull that off and it still feel definitely like it's 90s Christmas? Like some of this, what made the Home Alone movie feel so Christmassy is that the entire house was red and green. I had like read like the interior designer did an interview because I was trying to do research on how to pull this off. And the interior designer said that they tagged Ralph Lauren in order to make all this special made like wallpaper and all this other stuff, and they made the entire house red and green. And somehow people don't fully notice that the entire house is red and green. Like it is Christmas. It's always Christmas in that house. And it was smart how they did it, but I'm not making my entire house red and green. So I have to figure out how to still pull off that very classic looking Christmas. And again, a lot of those shots are from the actual Christmas tree scenes rather than Christmas. So like this is kind of giving more luxe 90s, and we need something that has like a combination of that and something that's a little more cute, like how we have here with the tree. That brings me to our tree this year. Our tree this year, and I think that this will help since our tree sits right next to our TV area, will be 90s themed. We theme our tree every single year. Last year, I believe we did Polar Express kind of, and we had like a train go around the middle, and we had blue, which I never do blue, and red, and only a little bit of green. And that was the whole aesthetic for the Christmas tree last year. This year, we're gonna go for 90s. we are doing tinsel, we're doing colored lights, which is very much out of my comfort zone because I usually never do colored lights and I never do tinsel or any of that stuff. I usually do a very classy looking type of tree, and we're going for mismatch and homey ornaments all over the tree. Like, this is what we're going for this year with the tree, and it's because it's just very much 90s. Like, this tree, nix this tinsel and put on the icicles, and that's basically what we're doing with the tree. We're putting the fake popcorn on the tree. This is what we're going for this year, and I'm concerned. I'm very much concerned because this is so out of our comfort zone of how we usually decorate our tree. But I feel like our TV area sitting next to that tree is also going to really sell the 90s Christmas type of thing, the very like fun Christmas, because that's really what 90s Christmas trees were really about, is throw everything you got home for the holidays at the tree type of thing. And it also really sells it that that's from Home Alone. So that's what we're doing around our TV area. I'm very concerned. Again, this is going to be really rough. Really rough. Like, even if you put in Home Alone Christmas, you get the same image over and over again. Everything, like, they like took two parts of the entire film and said, yep, okay, that's it. That's all we need for reference for the entire film. I mean, there's, of course, like, this screenshot of when they're all in the house. But again, like, if you see here, like, these green curtains, red, this wallpaper is green and red. Like, the entire house is, that's why it feels so Christmassy, is because literally the whole place looks like Christmas just threw up all over it. The entire house. See, we have red pots, we have it everywhere, we have the green tile. Like, they literally made this house to look simply Christmas. That is going to be my biggest challenge for this year. Really, I think it's going to be the Home Alone portion. I'll either pull it off or it'll look a mess, and I now have Hot Wheels and things that are very specific to the movie for no reason whatsoever, and waste a lot of time making a Michael Jordan cutout. So we will hope that will go well. The only other portion that's left, and the portion that's kind of, it's really a low lift, and that's because of how much is happening in the rest of my house right now, is in my living room area. That is my shelving area. And that is going to simply be vintage Christmas. Nothing, it's going to be kind of like how we did for Halloween, where that area ended up being my Halloween town and my vintage vintage Halloween area. But it will just be simply vintage Christmas. My Christmas town goes on top of my bookshelf. So my bookshelf area will not be extravagant. It kind of switches places for Christmas versus Halloween. I put my Christmas town up on my bookshelf because there's just far much more involved with that than my Halloween town. And that just leaves my shelves, which I think will just be a good fashioned vintage Christmas. And that kind of explains why I spent so much time explaining my style at the beginning of this video, because that will be the area where basically all that will happen. I think I'm like trying to move back as far as I can to show y'all in total, like, summation what everything looks like. There we go. So in that area, it will really be something similar to these vignettes that have a lot of vintage. See, like, this has kitschy Christmas. We won't do too much kitschy Christmas, but like something, we're getting closer in this area. I mean, I don't collect the mugs, but you'll get where I'm kind of starting to go. Is, oh, this is a little bit better, where it will simply just be a lot of vintage Christmas on the shelves in a vignette maximalist type of way. Not necessarily all Santas or anything, but oh, these are so cute. Okay, getting off topic. But more so just like this collection of vintage Christmas, just like how something similar to what that top shelf was for my Halloween area, except it would be across all of the shelves. I'm concerned a little bit about that, only because I don't have a ton of, and I know that sounds crazy to some of y'all, because I'm a maximalist, but I don't have a ton of Christmas like I have Halloween, and what ends up, I'm worried there's going to be a lot of empty spaces. Of course, you have to build stuff over time, but it's very different from my Halloween stuff. I don't have as much Christmas as I do Halloween, to be honest. And that's because it's something that as you can see, I'm still trying to figure out the style that I'm going for, as opposed to Halloween, where I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know exactly where to go to find it. I know what to type in to find it and search for it. If I'm looking on it on eBay, I know how to think outside the box. If I'm looking for it in thrift stores, I know how much something should be priced if I find something at an antique store to get it. So it's been a bit of a journey, and it still is. But we will continue and see where we go from there. But again, I think you can tell that I'm most excited. Like, I would love to make some like fake candies for some of those jars that I have. But I feel like you could probably tell that I'm most excited for my Christmas bakery spot this year. I feel like in past years, I've always loved decorating my bookshelf or even my TV area. And after decorating my kitchen this year, I feel like that's now become my new favorite spot to decorate, because of just, I have so much space to deal with, and it turned out so good for Halloween. I'm expecting a lot out of it for Christmas, especially because we host Friendsmas. So it'd be really great to have a great feeling kitchen while we have all of like our food and we're baking in there and stuff. We cook and bake a lot around the holidays here. We don't usually do like a lot for Halloween and stuff, or even Thanksgiving. We go to like my family's to go do that. So it'll be really interesting, and I really hope that I pull it off. As you can see, it's a little bit all over the place, but I am going for something that feels both commercial Christmas and cozy. And I think that is a very thin line, but that's where Christmas lives for me anyways. It's this like tug of war between commercial and cozy, and I want to try and pull that off in my own home. And this year is going to be the first year that I really try and do it. But we'll see if I actually pull it off. I will be decorating soon. Well, I'll be decorating this weekend. You guys won't be seeing it in probably maybe another week or so. Probably another 2 weeks, because I plan on also crafting all the things that I need to craft up to put up all the decorations, and that'll be coming out, I'm hoping, in another week. So prepare for a lot of Christmas around here in a very short amount of time. I'm hoping to get a lot of the decor and crafting stuff up this November, so that in December I can focus and also have a little bit of time to not have to put out so much content. I think one thing that's really big for me is last Halloween, the last holiday we just had, I put out tons of stuff during September. And then October, I got overwhelmed and burnt out kind of on making stuff because I was busy out doing the Halloween stuff. So, and I think that I like that though. I think I like, you know, the month before doing and preparing for that season, and then the month of vlogging and being like, instead of me sitting there and being like, oh, all this content that I have to put out, I don't want to sit here and I don't have time to edit all of it. Instead, focusing more on vlogging and doing all the stuff for this holiday season, because there will be a ton of stuff that I'll be doing to celebrate. And so there won't be as much like, oh, I need to prep and I need to do this and I need to film this and edit and all this other stuff. That's what to expect. I hope that some of that made sense to you. I hope that at least seeing a visual gave you a better idea of what I'm going for aesthetic wise with my Christmas decor this year. And if you're looking forward to any of it, please subscribe down below. Let me know down in the comments how you're planning on decorating your house for this Christmas. I know everybody's Christmas aesthetic is different, very different. I mean, I just sat here and I combined 3 different aesthetics. So I know that there will be some interesting ones down in the comments, so let me know down below. And please like this video if you liked the video, and please stick around if you're excited about all the Christmas that is to come. I'm really excited this year. I think more than I've usually been during Christmas. I was celebrating Halloween for so long, and Halloween always, you know, the essence of it is always living in my heart, and I'm always doing stuff, and we're still reading horror and all this other stuff, but I'm very excited for a new theme, a new holiday, a new flavor. So thanks for watching, y'all. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.